On behalf of the Commanding General, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California, Major General Robert F. Castelvi, I'd like to welcome you to the retirement ceremony for Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea, United States Marine Corps. Today's ceremony is comprised of Marines from Headquarters and Support Battalion, Marine Corps Air Station Camp Pendleton, and Headquarters and Support Battalion, Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, California. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Colonel Joseph D. Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Marine Corps Installation West Chaplain Captain Kevin J. Sweeney, United States Navy Chaplain Corps, and remain standing for the presentation of the colors. Honors to Major General Robert F. Castelvi and Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea, the award presentation and the reading of the retirement orders and the flag presentation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, as we ask your blessing this afternoon as we gather for the retirement of Brigadier General Killea, Lord, we are grateful that General Killea chose to serve his country as a United States Marine. Under your guidance, Lord, he has proven to be a dedicated and faithful leader in every clime and place. Over these years, many people have shared alongside of and helped mentor and support General Killea in his career. We also ask that you bless them for their part in the journey. As General Killea begins a new stage in his life, we pray, Lord, that you open wide the door of opportunity, that he may continue to share his gifts and talents in ways that honor you and bless his family. Lord, as we prepare to bid happy trails and allow General Killea to ride off into the sunset, we recognize Kathy and the Killea family who have shared in the sacrifices that are required of a military career. We pray that during these years, their lives have been enriched with the strength and character that love and sacrifice bring. With transfer of command responsibilities today, we also pray for Colonel Holt as he takes this new leadership role. And for all who serve here on Camp Pendleton and in Marine Corps Installations West, and for all who serve in our armed forces, especially those in harm's way, may we always be faithful under your divine protection. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
The retiring official for today's ceremony is the Commanding General, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California, Major General Robert F. Castelvi. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to the retiring official, Major General Robert F. Castelvi. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea. Now taking his position in the reviewing area is the retiring official, Major General Robert F. Castelvi. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. From the Secretary of the Navy, the President of the United States takes great pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Service Medal to Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea, United States Marine Corps, for service as set forth in the following citation. for exemplary meritorious service to the United States in a duty of great responsibility while serving as Commanding General, Marine Corps Installation West, Marine Corps Base, Camp Pendleton, California, from July 2016 through June 2019. Brigadier General Killea commanded 8,600 Marines, sailors, and civilians, and organized limited resources to provide continuous service and support to 90,000 Marines and sailors assigned to 1st Marine Expeditionary Force and other commands. He focused on establishing installations as platforms for readiness and training, and as key enablers to improve the health and welfare of Marines and their families. He prioritized $1.2 billion for facilities sustainment, repair, and maintenance, as well as $2.8 billion of military construction projects to ensure the future operational needs at 8 installations were met. His efforts vastly improved the training conditions for tenant commands, raised the quality of life for service members and their families, and safeguarded employee welfare. Brigadier General Killea's superior performance of duties highlights the culmination of 31 years of honorable and dedicated service. His superior leadership, wise judgment, and deep devotion to duty, Brigadier General Killea reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. For the President, Richard V. Spencer, Secretary of the Navy. From Commandant of the Marine Corps to Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea, United States Marine Corps. Release from active duty and transfer to the retired list on 1 August 2019. You will transfer to the Marine Corps' Officers Retired List at 23:59 on 31 July 2019. You will detach from your present duty station and be released from active duty. As of 31 July 2019, you will complete 31 years, 2 months, and 8 days of active service. Signed, Robert B. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps. The flag now being presented was raised at Marine Corps Installation West Command Post, Camp Pendleton, California, on the 23rd day of May 2019 to commemorate the retirement and 31 years of honorable and faithful service of Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea. Congressman Levin, United States Representative for California's 49th Congressional District, will now present Brigadier General Killea a proclamation delivered on 25 June 2019. Dear Brigadier General Kevin J. Killea, I send my personal congratulations and offer the country's sincere gratitude as you retire from the United States Marine Corps after your 31 years of service. I am proud to have served as your Commander-in-Chief. Your dedication and leadership in uniform have been critical to defending our freedom at an important time in our history. The commitment to duty and professionalism with which you have served is part of the outstanding legacy of the United States Armed Forces, which continues to inspire generations of young Americans. Thank you for your contributions to the safety of the American people and the security of America. As you open this next chapter in your life, I hope that you feel tremendous pride in your service to our nation and that you continue to find ways to invest in your community and our country. We send our best wishes for you and Kathy's success in all your future endeavors. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless this great nation. Sincerely, President Donald J. Trump. Now being escorted, Miss Kathy Killea. The Commandant of the Marine Corps takes pleasure in presenting this Certificate of Appreciation to Kathy A. Killea. In grateful appreciation of your unselfish, faithful, and devoted support of your husband's military career, your continuous encouragement and understanding helped to make possible Kevin's lasting contribution to the Marine Corps. We fully realize that your perseverance and understanding were not provided without hardship and sacrifice during his tours of duty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, 1st Marine Division, Major General Castelvi.
How are we all doing today? Is this just not so beautiful? Oh my God, the color guard, these Marines in formation here. CO troops, please, at this time, bring the command to attention and put them at ease. Okay, Marines, bend your knees. It won't be long. For the distinguished guests that are here, Congressman Levin, thank you so much for coming here. And it means a lot. And it means even more for what you're doing on Capitol Hill to take care of our Marines and sailors and families and our veterans. So thank you so much for taking time out of it. For general officers here, General Osterman, thank you for being here. General Hanlon, General Jackson, I think General Robling was coming around as well. I see General Lebedine over here. Jay Bullard's here. My God. Rear Admiral Pennington is here. For my brothers here within the MEF, again, Generals Uribe, General Skolenka, General Iams. Did I get anybody? Did I miss anybody? I think I got them all. All right. And to the most distinguished guests that are here, and that's the Killea family. From Kathy again, for all the sacrifices you put in and dedication to Kevin's career, to Baja's career. Thank you so much. We got Patrick, we got Elizabeth, we got Kristen. Kristen's engaged to James, who's here as well. How about that? Kathy's mom is here. Baja's brother's here. We got Uncle Jack and Uncle Mike, right? All right, I may get them all. Am I close? And thank the two of you for your service. So, why do we do a ceremony like this? Why do we put this in together? I'll try to put some context behind why this is a special ceremony. Look, anyone who joins our service and puts his feet on the yellow footprints at recruit training or at officer candidate school, deserves the appreciation and has the appreciation of a very grateful nation. No matter whether you serve for 2, 3, 4, multiple tours, but there is a special place in the soul of our Corps for those who have dedicated a career of 20+ years of service. In this case, for Baja, 31 years of service to Corps and country. Because for those of you that serve and have served, and I know the families get this, you know what that means. It means, in Baja's case, 31 years of 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, year after year, assignment after assignment, through war and peace and everything in between. And it's really not war. Most of the time, it's not war or peace. It's war and something in between war and peace, where service has got to come before self, where honor, courage, and commitment, not just a recruiting buzzword, It's got to be in your DNA. You got to live it. It's got to be a part of you. You know, where failure's not an option, where second best isn't good enough, not in combat, second place is not good enough, where sometimes just being good enough is not good enough, where throughout that career you are expected to continue to elevate your game, get better and better, take on more and more responsibilities, move from duty station to duty station, short-term deployments, uncertainty, and it's often, and it's an occupation where, again, it's service before self, and service often comes before family. And the family has got to be all in. And that's what's been wonderful about this family in particular. You have been all in. But we know what that means. That's why we do a ceremony like this today. So that's the context behind it. We also do it to honor what has been a spectacular career. And I promised Baja was not going to go through his bio. I'm going to put some context by some things. But if you look through his bio, what you see an officer who was in the mix. In the mix. MOS proficiency, without a doubt. Flying squadron deployments, accomplished F-18 pilot, again, through war and peace, number of deployments. And when he wasn't in the cockpit, he was in high-intensity staff positions. He was in command of MOTS. He was in command, he was in command of Marine Corps Warfighting Lab as a general officer. He spent time in the aviation hallway. He was in the Office of Secretary of Defense. And again, in the mix, intense. And each one of those billets, he excelled. And since becoming a general officer, again, he commanded at Marine Corps Warfighting Lab right off the bat. Deployed to the CENTCOM OR as a chief of staff to CJTF OIR. And we talk about that deployment a lot. It was one that we shared around that same time period. And unless you were in Baghdad during that time period, in the early days of the ISIS campaign, you don't know how tough that work was. You know how close, and Baja knows how close it was. We didn't fathom at that point being able to defeat ISIS. We were just trying to keep the implosion of Iraq from happening and try setting the conditions for them to commence an offensive operation, which would eventually lead to the defeat of ISIS in Iraq and Syria, or at least down to manageable levels that hopefully we can be able to sustain. And then he comes here to Marine Corps Installations West, and he and I talked about that assignment as well. I said, you're going to love this. You're going to love this tour. You're almost going to want to go back and apologize to every base commander, installation commander you ever said anything nasty about. General Jackson, I do that all the time. Yeah. But this entire career, for those of you that have known him for most of his life or most of his career, what you find with Baja and with Kathy is that they are just true to the core. That it's never about themselves. It is truly service before self. There's no ego. There's no BS. You know, it's taking care of the Marines. It's doing the right thing. It's taking responsibility. It's being accountable. And in this billet in particular, boy, I got to see that firsthand. And so many of you that have worked for him here and seen him work throughout MCI West, you know what I'm talking about. You heard it in the citation. You know, supporting 90,000 Marines. I mean, when you're the base commander and the installations West commander, it's like being a mayor and a governor at the same time. You know, I mean, you have a span of control that's incredible. Unfortunately, we got great staffs and great commanders that are helping you out. But you talked about a number of billions of dollars that he's been able to manage in our facility sustainment and MILCON. But what you don't get out of that citation, which you only know if you've been here, is the kind of leader that he is, and he has been in this assignment, how Kathy has been as well. They have been a unified command team. And Baja's been the one that rolls his sleeve up and just gets it done. It doesn't matter. He's leading from the front, whether it's an issue that he's got to fight for our Marines and families, to take care of them, whether it's a fire that's about ready to threaten an ASP, which made us all nervous last summer, whether it was a flood, whether it was a concern that one of the supporting commanders may have about what we needed, you know, led from the front from the entire way. And for Laura and I mean, we got to love them as friends from the time we came together as general officers. And since that time period, and I guess probably for many of you that have known him for years, you know that he really hasn't changed that much, with the exception of one thing. So I show up here last summer, and I go into his office, and I thought I was in Roy Rogers' house, hearing Gene Autry music. This guy had become a real cowboy, you know. And this wasn't some Billy Crystal, City Slickers, midlife crisis kind of thing. I mean, he talks the talk, he walks the walk. I mean, he goes on days rides. I mean, like several days. You know, I mean, they ought to rename the stables. You know, it should be something like, you know, Rancho Baja or something, you know. He's done more for those stables. He's the best thing that ever happened at his mounted color guard. I mean, the horses, the riders. I mean, I think if horses could talk, there's probably some wild Mustangs out, you know, Montana or wherever we get them from. They're probably saying to themselves, hey, this is tough here. You hear what's going on in Barstow? I mean, the chow. They got riders that know what they're doing. They got a wrangler. Oh. But seriously, it has been my pleasure to, on behalf of the Commandant and the President of the United States, to be the presiding officer today. This is truly a momentous time period. And what's great about the example that you two have set, and I hope it has resonated for those that you have dealt with. You have proved that you can have a successful career in this business, get to the level that you're at, stay true to yourself, you know, raise 3 wonderful children, successful children, have a marriage that is as strong and if not stronger than it was when it started, you know, and be able to look back on a career and say, this was a career where I felt a sense of purpose that what I did matters. And lastly, thank you for yours and Kathy's friendship, me and Laura, on behalf of Laura and me, for now and to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Semper Fidelis, thank you.
I'm not sure who he was talking about. Real quick, 2 weeks ago, Sergeant Major Meza, where is he? Retired, and at this point when he had to give his remarks, he was walking out like this, and he went, oh, you start off at the yellow footprints, and then they give you a microphone. That killed me. I mean, he delivered it much better than that, but brother, I know how you feel right now. Honestly, good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Kaz already hit the list. I can call you Kaz now, right? Yeah. So Kaz already hit the list, but I do want to say a special thanks to all the flag and general officers that are here. If you're here, you're either a friend or a mentor or both, and I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for your support, guidance, and friendship, especially General Roebling. I know he's trying to make it. And for this tour, General Hanlon, General Jackson, and shout out to Mel Spees, who couldn't be here, but he's been great for me for this tour. Congressman Levin, deepest thanks for your attendance here today and the proclamation. Wow. It's only been a short time, but I know without a doubt that you are going to be a great advocate for Marine Corps equities in the region and for all service members in the region. I only wish that you had been in office for my 3 years here, my entire 3 years here, and you can tell your predecessor I said that. Wait, what? Too soon? Too soon? All right. Well, that's it. Listen, for all of you who have sat through many retirements, I'm not going to turn this into a thank you fest, okay? I've already done that with my staff separately. I've done it with my regional commanders separately, but I have two exceptions. Sergeant Major and Maggie, and Kara Morin. Kara, where are you? And D. Cook, and the rest of the people inside the glass, and they know what that means, who have made this command element so strong. I can't thank you enough. Now, I do have some special personal thanks that I'm going to get to at the very end, and Kathy, I'm not going to look at you until we get to that point, because you're killing me already. And we'll get there. You're good, yeah. Right. So I thought I would focus a little bit, I know it's warm out there and I'm conscious of time, a little bit on my Marine Corps career and what the Marine Corps meant to me, what a concept, right, for a retirement. And I thought that would be better than, say, thanking my Uncle Jack, who flew all the way out here from Rhode Island and has been like a second father to me my whole life. See how I did that, Uncle Jack? But before I get into the Marine Corps career thing, I want to acknowledge two groups, two special groups, the Mounted Color Guard that Kaz talked about, and the band. I'm a pacer and drives Kathy crazy, but I'm sorry. So the Mounted Color Guard came all the way down from Barstow. This is, I call it the ground demonstration team for the Marine Corps, not unlike the Blue Angels for the Navy and Marine Corps. Is Cato Cook here? Did he make it? Not yet? Okay. Oh, Cato's in the back. So they do about 75 events a year, upwards of 75 events a year around this country. And they are the face of the Marine Corps in so many places, hard to reach places that you wouldn't imagine, in big cities. Now, guess how many people, how many Marines, not people, how many Marines are assigned to the Mounted Color Guard? How many Marines the Marine Corps has assigned? You're looking at them. 4. And 2 civilians, a wrangler and a trainer. Colonel Clemens, and his wife Ruth are here somewhere. There, he's over there. He's got to take a couple more out of high just to keep it running. And I think we got to the point where a minimum of 8. So for the last 2 years, I've tried to change that. I've tried to get the personnel staffing for the Color Guard fixed, and I keep getting denied by headquarters, recently too. So here's what I want you all to do. I want you all to write your congressman. We happen to have one here. You could just talk to him afterwards and tell them we want to get the Mounted Color Guard staffing right. All right, so the band. Busy time of year. This morning, General Casselvi and his wife Laura were up at 29 Palms. So change of command? Regiment? Yeah. And so that's where the band is, 1st Marine Division Band. And because I've spent 20 plus years in aviation, I had one more silver bullet to shoot with General Imes. And kidding. They were happy to come up and support this, make it a special day, give it a sense of class. Please give them a round of applause again. Thank you for the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Band. So that's a great segue, because 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing Band and aviation is why I happened upon the Marine Corps. My father was a World War II pilot. It fascinated me. I wanted to know about it. And before I got into college, I said, you know, I know this is what I know. This is what I know. This was going into college. I want to fly, and I want to serve my country. Even though I didn't really know what serve your country meant at the time, because it was kind of intriguing to me, that's what I wanted to do. So I did some homework, I did some digging, I was looking at all the services, and I figured out Marine aviation, primary role of Marine aviation is to support the Marine on the ground. At that point, I was sold. So long story short, I went off to OCS, 6 weeks times 2, with my aviation contract, and it was like, cool, I'm gonna go be a pilot. Here's what I didn't know. That there was a 6-month thing between OCS and flight school. And the first guy didn't really tell me about it. I didn't figure this out until the 2nd rotation. And it's like, you got to learn how to be that guy, that Marine, and rifles and stuff. I said, wait, what? How'd this get past me? I want to support the Marine on the ground, not be the Marine on the ground. Anyway, it was fine. 6 weeks or 6 months at TBS, kind of a walk in the park for aviators. We carried everybody. And so, is Gary Johnson here? He's in the back right corner. I will say, though, it was a torturous 6 months lengthwise. I mean, it couldn't end soon enough because I was thinking Florida flight school. And there'd be times when we'd be out in the field, be pouring rain, and I would just shout out 7599. That's the MOS for student aviator. And then I'd hear Gary or Frank Donovan or someone go, "Shut up, Killea," and then we would move on. But anyway, so that's it, flight school, and then off to the fleet. And then here's what I learned. I learned that I was extremely fortunate to be a Marine for 3 reasons. Number one, because I figured out what it meant to serve your country. And I talked about this at Joe Zarba's retirement not too long ago, and I know Joe and Carol Ann are here. Initially, when you go, "Yeah, I want to serve my country," it's kind of cliche, and I think we all join kind of for the sense of adventure of it all initially. But once you deploy, especially if you deploy in harm's way, you quickly figure out that it's about defending our way of life and supporting the flag that represents everything that's great about this nation, not what's wrong with it. So that's number one. Number two, the mission. Couldn't have been more thrilled to be part of a Marine Air Ground Task Force. That is unbelievable. Every component coming together. No other service does it like we do it in the Marine Corps. And I'm proud to say that for 31 years, I'm very proud to be a supporting arm for the number one priority, that Marine on the ground. And number three, the people. I've been blessed with great leaders and mentors who have got me through many different places in my career. So many of them are here today, and I've been more blessed to be put in a position to lead and to be a leader. And so those three things is what I've learned, really. I've simplified it for 31 years, but it's really special. I'll take that forward with me for the rest of my life, how fortunate it is to be a Marine. And unless you are a Marine or you're very close to one, the magnitude of that statement is probably lost on you. So, yeah. I think we're now at the point where I'm just going to do some of those special thanks. Real quick, MCCS, I haven't had a chance to thank them, the directors, all the people that do that on this base. It's been a pleasure leading them and serving with them to improve the quality of life for people on this base and their workspace and how they live. It's been great. 2 shout outs, because I have to. Nicole Kontoff, Step Stables, for teaching me how to ride. I showed up here, Kaz is right, I'd never been on a horse before. And Jake Weiss is here, he's the pro at Marine Memorial. Thank you for attempting to improve my golf game. That was the epitome of a lost proposition from the get-go, but I appreciate that. Family, we talked about, my mother-in-law Carol's here, Uncle Mike's here, you guys already been introduced to Uncle Jack. My brother Peter, I don't know if Mike Lawless made it, but he represents a really strong part of the family that we grew up with. And I have close friends that are here today that made the trip. Gary Krause, Bob Claypool, Ed Hackett, Ed McGee, Pat Cook in the back. These are folks that have supported Kathy and I through our entire career. They always had our back. I can't thank you guys enough. Future son-in-law James, thank you for taking care of my daughter and for memorizing the phrase, "Oh, absolutely, 100%, dear. You couldn't be more correct." Say it with me. 100%, dear. Couldn't be more correct. All right. Phil and Annie, thank you. You're right there. Thank you for welcoming us into your family so warmly, and thank you for making the trip out here. Patrick, Elizabeth, Kristen, thank you for making life so fun for Mom and I. I know it's been crazy having this Marine Corps lifestyle thrown at you, and I haven't always been there for you. And when I was probably distracted. Okay, I can't look at Kristen now. But thank you for being patient. Thank you for being resilient. And thank you, all three of you, for being mature beyond your years. I love you guys. You're awesome. Here's our hard part. So, Kathy, I'm indebted to you for my life, for supporting me for the last 31 years, unwavering support. And I'm so proud of you for laying the foundation for those three, and to help them get to where they are and how successful they are. Matter of fact, I'm more proud of that than I'm proud of anything I've done in the Marine Corps. And I'm here to tell everybody, as I wrap up, I'm the luckiest man on the planet because I've got you by my side going forward, and I know that everything's going to be great, and it's going to work out because that's what you do. I love you. So Kaz was right. We love this job. I couldn't think of a better 3 years to finish off my career in the Marine Corps. The people, the mission, the engagements, the communities that we were a part of. I know so many of you came and made the effort to come here. I see Chuck in the back, and cowboy hat. I have to give him some credit for teaching me how to ride too. But everybody, thank you so much for coming. Semper Fidelis, and let's go have a party.
Flowers will now be presented to Miss Killea. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retirement of the colors and remain standing for the playing of Anchors Aweigh and the Marines Hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for your attendance, and Semper Fidelis.